and welcome to U.S Map Reading 101, where I am your professor, Janelle. Today's lesson will be the final lesson of Part 1, which is Lesson 1.3. Classes will be held on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays in the month of February at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And since this is the first Monday of Black History Month, I want to say Happy Black History Month to all my brothers and sisters. And next, I want to thank those of you who went to the link in my bio and clicked on Gumroad, some free items, or put in the hyperlink and got onto that site. Make sure to subscribe, and even though items are at $0, you can donate to me through that site. So I thank you in advance. And reasons to learn how to read the U.S. Road Map is so you can have navigational skills, geographical knowledge, critical thinking skills, and make informed decisions. I also want you all to remember that these major highways, 95, 70, 40, 10, and 5, all connects us together. The requirements that you will need for my class is a pencil and a ruler, and if you don't have a ruler, you can click the link in my bio and go to where it says U.S. Map Reading Syllabus and get the free ruler. You'll need a U.S. Atlas and a calculator. In today's lesson, we are going to talk about Sojourner Truth's walk. Sojourner Truth's life in New England. She lived in New York State and NYC, and we're going to calculate her walk and possible stops preaching throughout the New England states. You're going to need a road map, and then we're going to calculate the distance walked, and then I'll show you some nautical calculations because nautical is not the same as miles, and we'll do an activity. Sojourner Truth was an abolitionist. When you get a moment, pause and read the plaque on her statue. Sojourner Truth was born Isabella Bumfree or Bomifree. She don't have a month or a day for birth, but they have her in 1797 in Swartzykill, New York State. She was an American abolitionist and activist for African American civil rights and women's rights. She gave herself the name Sojourner Truth in 1843 after she became convinced that God had called her to leave the city and to go into the countryside, testifying to the hope that was in her. Some facts to know about Sojourner Truth is her first language was Dutch. It was not English, but when she spoke in English, she spoke with a Dutch accent. In 1806, at 9 years old, she was sold with a flock of sheep for $100, which equivalates to $1,948 in 2003 in Kingston, New York. In 1808, she was sold for $105, which will equivalate to $2,003 to Port Ewan, New York, and in 1810 she was sold in West Park, New York. She had 5 children: James, Diane, Peter, Elizabeth, and Sophia. In 1799, the state of New York began legislation to abolish slavery, but we all know how that happens and how that goes, and it did not pass until July 4th, 1827. In today's lesson, we'll be going over Sojourner's travels. So we'll start in Swartzykill, New York. We'll go down to Tribeca, Lower Manhattan, and then we'll travel all the way up to Florence, Massachusetts. Before we begin, this is the map of New York State and the surrounding states that are around New York. Starting in New York Northern, we're going to go down to where she resides. Kingston, Rifkin, Port Ewan, this area. Then we'll go to our map scale. Every inch equals 20 miles. So we'll say this is a half of inch in New York Northern. So 0.5 inch times 20 equals 10 miles. We're going to go south. Then in New York Southern, which goes all the way down to Lower Manhattan, on our scale, 1 inch equals 15 miles. So we'll say we're about 6 inches. So 6 inches times 15 equals 90 miles to Tribeca, which is 100 miles. So it took her approximately 100 miles, and let's say the walking speed is 3 miles per hour. So that equals 33 hours. And divide that by 24 hours, which we know she will not be walking all 24 hours because she needs time to rest, eat, and preach. That is about a day, 1.4 days. So approximately it took her 2 to 3 days walking from Port Ewan, New York to Tribeca, New York City. Now we're gonna do her travels from Tribeca, New York City to Florence, Massachusetts, which is Northampton. We're still in southern New York City. So we're gonna measure to the line of Connecticut, which would take us about 2.5. So 2.5 times 15 equals 37.5 miles to Connecticut. Then we're gonna go to Connecticut, and on the map scale, every inch equals 8 miles. So we're gonna say it's approximately 10 inches to Massachusetts, which is up here. So 10 inches times 8 miles equals 80 miles to Massachusetts. So then we're gonna go to Massachusetts, and since Connecticut is right there, we're gonna put our ruler on Connecticut and go up to Northampton, which is approximately 3 inches, and 1 inch equals 10 miles. So we have 3 inches times 10 miles equals 30 miles to NoHo, which is Northampton, Florence, Massachusetts. So that is going to equal 147.5 miles. Then we'll do 147.5 miles divided by 3 miles per hour for her walking equals 49.2 hours. Divide that by 24 hours, which we know she will have time to sleep and rest and preach, which will equal about 2.1 days. So approximately, we'll say on average 3 to 5 days it took her to get from Tribeca, New York to Florence, Massachusetts. And just to explain nautical miles to you, they are 1.151 mile. And 1 mile we know is 5,280 feet. A nautical mile is bigger than 1 mile. And some of those miles she may have taken a boat or rode horse and buggy. We are not sure, but we calculated all of her miles in walking distance. I want to thank you for watching, and happy Black History Month. Above is me with the statue of Sojourner Truth near her house in Florence, Massachusetts. So thank you and take care. And if you're interested, you can get my book, Trucking to Success, that is out on Amazon, or if you click the link in my bio, you can get it on Gumroad or Amazon. And thank you so much.